Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What's happening, everybody? I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Account for Your Life podcast. And today we're going to talk about the truth is in the mirror and how we can look at the mirror, and the mirror just gives back whatever it sees. This is good. This is good for many of us. And then sometimes we're just like, I just don't like what's in the mirror. So let's talk about the mirror today, man. And here's how I came up with the topic of the truth in the mirror some years ago when I think I just started getting coaching, and, I was trying to figure out what's my thing going to be and how am I going to do it. I just want to ask you a question. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? That's the first thing I'm going to ask today. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Because the mirror can only reflect back what is there. The mirror cannot reflect back something that's not there. So stay with me right here in this topic today. So the mirror is a place where we can go, where we can get truth. So a few years ago, when I was getting this coaching and I was trying to create some new things, I'm trying to become a coach. I never coached anybody before. In fact, I wasn't even a coaching type, but I'm saying I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to do it. Yeah. And I don't know. I think I was listening to Brian Tracy, and Brian Tracy got some great insights in business and life and this, that, and the third. And one of the things that I discovered is that if you ever see something you don't like, here's what you must do. Especially if you don't like it, change. That's it. Just change. And that day I sat there and I said, change. I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's it? Now, here's the thing. You can say that's it. Oh, yeah, but we all know. Come on now. Just think back to your last week's, and what is it that we've had? What is it that you had to change that maybe you haven't changed? There's stuff, look. As much as I'm healthy, right? Because I'm the healthy accountant, and I hit the gym and stuff that, but I look around my own waist. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm carrying 5, 6, 7 pounds that I shouldn't be carrying. Now, here's the thing. That's my mirror. That's not yours. Don't be looking at me saying, well, Jay, come on, you don't got to lose the weight. Because I know my wife, she'll say that. She says, what are you talking about? You got to lose the weight. Come on. You make me, she's annoyed by me. But still, it's the mirror. And back then I was just like, change something. And I went on a journey. See, the truth can do a few things, right? The truth can set you free, right? That's what Jesus said. He says, and you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. What is truth is what Pilate said. Pilate asked Jesus, hey, so what is this truth you talking about? Jesus said, the truth is everybody that stands for the truth is on the side of me, is on my side. What is truth? See, truth is interesting because in this day and age, people are rewriting truth. Come on now. People are saying, well, this is my truth. This your truth, this is my truth, and those truths aren't the same. Whatever. There's only one truth. But here's the thing. We could be looking in the same mirror. I could look at you. You could look at you. You could see some truth that I don't see because you have a better eye for yourself. But here's the thing. People have an eye for you as well. Yesterday, I was on a coaching call with one of my mentors, and it was interesting because he was giving coaching. He was coaching everybody up on selling, and I'm giggling. I got my video on because I don't know. I tend to have it on. A lot of people don't always have it on. I got my video on. I'm giggling because I'm just like, man, he's speaking some truth today. And he saw me and says, Derek, he says, Jay Moore. And so he starts talking to me. We had a quick conversation, but he said something. See, here's the thing. Somebody can look at you and they could see something good about you. Oh man, they will see something. You'd be like, you saw that? Here's what he said. Now, Don't get me wrong now. He just says, man, if you looked as good as Jay Moore, I'm telling you, man, you wouldn't have too much problem making any sales. Now, I giggled. It was funny. But he also said this. He says, your face, he says, he's telling everybody, your face has favor on it. Your face has favor on it for something. So somebody might see something that you don't quite see. Somebody might have a belief about you that you don't see. Now, sometimes it could be false, but a lot of times it could be true. But here's the thing. If we just go back to, the fact that change came up in, back in 2000, I think that was 2017. And I'm like, change what? What is it that we have to change today in our business? What is it that we have to change in our personal life, our relationship with our spouse, our kids, our siblings, our parents? What is it that we have to change in order to move to a place where we know, we feel the truth that's in us, and we know that this is a good place for me. This is a good place for you. What do we have to change? I'm driving home this morning from the gym, and I got a good workout this morning, man. I feel real. I feel like, I've been putting on muscle for the past, year or two, and I could just feel it, right? Because I used to be very thin, and my body feels stronger, and my phone rings as I'm coming home because I'm getting home. I'm going to do the podcast. I'm feeling good, and one of my clients says, we're talking, and she says, well, it sounds like you're out. I said, yeah, I'm coming from the gym. She says, man, you know what, man, I've been trying to do that. And I just can't seem to stay consistent. Anybody here can't stay consistent? Come on now. Anybody here can't have a hard time staying consistent? And so she said to me, she says, well, how do you do it? Okay. Well, because she says, I've tried it this way and that way. I said, look, I've done it all. I've worked out early in the morning, 4:00. I've worked out late at night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I've worked out in the middle of the day, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Yep. I've worked out at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. I've worked out at just about every hour of the day. I said, what works for me? Going to the gym at 7 o'clock a.m. I get up around 6, just before 6. I'm headed out to the gym at 7. I'm home by about 8:30, 8:45. I'm done. I don't have to think about it. I've gotten it in. And I do that every single day, 6 days a week. She was just like, man. I said, but here's the thing. I tried everything. See, sometimes the truth will force you to do it over and over, different ways. You're trying to figure it out, but you got to come up with something that truly works for you, because the mirror's not going to lie. See, when we get in the mirror this morning, like before I came on the podcast, I had to get in the mirror. Well, actually, I didn't do it because I didn't mess my hair up at the gym. But a lot of times I'm at the gym and I'm laying down on different things, and my hair gets kind of mushy and squishy. So I had to come back home. I got to take my little sponge and I got to play on it some more. But that's the thing, right? You got to go in the mirror. Okay, is anything out of place? See, sometimes you may not see that something's not in place and somebody does. But back to my story with my coach, because he saw favor on my face. But a few years ago, someone else saw favor on my face, and I didn't know I had this favor. I was just like, you see that? Has anybody ever said something to you that you sit there and you just say, there's no way you see that. There's no way you see that. Like it's not possible, right? There's no way you see that in me. Yeah, I see that in you. I see that in you. A lot of times I'm talking to my wife, I'm like, hey, honey, I see this in you. And she's looking at me, come on, man, come on. Like that's, I don't see it the way you see it. And I'm just like, well, I'm just saying it's there. Yeah, I know. Honey's on here. Love you, honey. And it's there. And the thing is, sometimes the things that people see, they can see better than us, because we are a reflection to them. See, sometimes you don't have to go stand in the mirror. All you got to do is stand in front of somebody else and ask them a question. Hey, what do you see in me? Do you want to know what's in you? All you got to do is ask somebody, what do you see in me? Because we are a mirror. I was reading this book, Business Success Secrets, last year, written by Rabbi Daniel Lapin, amazing book on business in the Bible, unbelievable. And he talks about this thing called faces. He talks about how we have a different face everywhere we go. Meaning we have a different face with our family. We have a different face in our business. We have a different face with our clients. We have a different face at our church. We have a different face everywhere we go. So people see different things. We represent different things every time. You know, sometimes you say, man, you two-faced it. Yeah, I'm actually 20-faced it probably. I'm probably 20-faced it. And he talked about this in a very interesting way. And I'm gonna lay this story down and then I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna close it up. So he talked about this in a way that this young guy, his nice little family, went to work and the company had to lay him off. And when they laid him off, he was distraught. Like imagine you get laid off today. His wife was a stay-at-home mom, and he's just like, man, he only had a couple of months of savings. He's like, man, I'm in trouble. So he goes to Rabbi. He says, Rabbi, what should I do? Rabbi says, look, you have a couple of choices. You can tell your wife about what happened, or you cannot tell your wife about what happened. Now, normally in today's day and age, you don't not come home and tell your wife you just got laid off. You're not going to have you don't have a job like typically, but that's going to cause a little anxiety within her. So he says, look, if you want to save your wife a little bit of that anxiety, why don't you do this? He says, why don't you just act like you're going to work every day? Ask your employer, don't call, don't say nothing about you getting laid off right now. And for the he only had a couple months of savings, so he only had 2 months. So he says, look, act like you're going to work every day, and then just go to the library, look for a job, because that could potentially help save your wife the stress. So his wife saw him as a provider. And when it was all said and done, he got a job. He got a job now in the time that his money he didn't spend all his money, he got a better job. But when he went to his wife and said, hey, honey, this is what happened, she was more thankful to him that he never told her. See, because we have different faces, listen, just because you know something doesn't mean you got to actually tell everybody what it is that you're dealing with. So when we're looking at the truth that's in the mirror, sometimes the truth that's in the mirror is going to be different for this person and that organization and that business and that church. It's going to be different from everything because it's going to be multifaceted. But don't allow yourselves to disconnect from when people see things in you. See, I think the moral of today is someone's going to see something in you today. Like if I was talking to you today, if I was standing in front of every, the 5 people that's watching, if I was standing in front of you, I would probably have something to say to you about you. And I don't have to know as much as you think I need to know. All I have to do is listen to you for a minute or two. And then I can probably impart wisdom about you to you so that you can actually do something better in your life. How's that, Jay? Because you are a mirror. You reflect who you are. Just like every day I'm reflecting some of me in this broadcast. Every day I reflect some of me. So where's Jay starting at today? This is where I'm starting. This is where I've started today. What is Jay always talking about? I'm always talking about life. I'm always talking about how to account for it, the different things, because life is precious, right? And we all have an opportunity of living it to the fullest. But unfortunately, so many of us don't know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, career? How do you account for the one life you have to live? That's why you're here. I'm so glad you asked. Guys, I appreciate you for joining me. Don't forget today, the truth's in the mirror. Allow yourself to reflect who you are, but also allow yourself to listen to those that you are reflecting to, because you could find something so amazing about yourself through someone else and how you reflected to them. So I appreciate you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.